Students of intermediate level, I hope all of you are staying at home and trying to keep yourself safe and sound. This is Rajiv Roy. You know, I'm a lecturer of the Department of English at Dhaka College. I started taking classes on right forms of verb, and and I'd like to continue with it. So, our today's focus is on right forms of verb. In my last class, I started this segment of grammar for SS English second paper, and I completed 5 rules in my last class. And I'd like to start with rule number 6 of right forms of verb. Today, I will teach you only 3 rules and regulations. And one of the rules of right forms of verb is related to conditional sentence, and I will give you the ins and outs of conditional sentence today. And our today's class will be continued for 50 minutes. I hope all of you will participate effectively, as your participation always encourages me. Okay, my dear students, let us start with rule number 6 of right forms of verb. This is really important, and in your intermediate level, in right forms of verb part, 10 blanks are given. 10 blanks are given. Each of the blanks contains half marks. So in total you have 5 marks in this portion. This is easy for you because there is no headline of the verbs. Actually, the verb is given in the sentence. The verb is given in the sentence. You just need to find out the correct form. Okay. So today we will learn 3 rules and regulations related to right forms of verb. Let us start with rule number 6. I will not give you the rule at first. I will give you example, and you have to try by yourselves. You have to give me the answer in the comment box, and after your trying or after your effort, I will tell you the answer, or I will show you whether the answer is correct or not. Okay, so let us start with rule number 6. I will start narration. I will start narration after I have complete this grammar. I will start narration after I have complete this grammar. Look at the board. What should be the answer, my dear students? What should be the answer after I have complete the grammar? What is your answer? I'd like to give you another example. I'd like to give you another example for rule number 6. Having delivered a lecture, I will attend the party. Please write down the answer, dear students. I will start narration after I have complete. What should be the answer? What should be the answer, dear students? Is it complete? Is it to complete? It is completed? Is it? Which one is the correct answer? I don't know. I don't know which answer is correct. Let us learn the rule. If you get any auxiliary verbs, like have, has, had, having, been. Have, has, had, having, been. Dear students, if you get any verb, any auxiliary verbs like have, has, having, being. Look at, if you get have, has, had, having, being as auxiliary verbs used in a sentence, after these auxiliaries, you have to take past participle form of the main verb. So what should be the answer here? Dear students, write down what should be the answer. I will start narration after I have complete or completed. What is the past participle form of complete? The past participle form of complete is completed. The answer should be I will start narration after I have completed this grammar. And the second one is that having delivered or delivered. The past participle form of deliver is delivered. So the answer is having delivered a lecture, I will attend the party. So after rule number 6, we have learned that after have, has, had, having, being, we need to use the past participle form of the main verb. This is all about rule number 6. Now I'd like to tell you rule number 7. Definitely 1 or 2 questions will be given from rule number 7. Dear students, I have told you that 10 blanks are given in right forms of verb part, and in this part you have 5 marks, as each of the blanks contains half marks. Definitely at least 1 or 2 questions are given from rule number 7. But what is there at rule number 7? Dear students, what is there at rule number 7? Now rule number 7. Like other rules and regulations, I'd like to give you the example at first. You are requested to try by yourselves. Example number 1. Cricket. Cricket, in the bracket call, a gentleman's game. Cricket, call a gentleman's game. This is the first example for you. Another example is there, dear. Cox's Bazar is called, Cox's Bazar called pleasure seekers paradise. Example number 3. Rome not built in a day. Number 4. A sense of brotherhood and fraternity. A sense of brotherhood and fraternity create due to cricket. Write down the answer. Look at the board and write down the answer, my dear students. Cricket call a gentleman's game. Cox's Bazar call pleasure seekers paradise. Rome not built in a day. And the last example is a sense of brotherhood and fraternity create due to cricket. Okay, question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. You have to write 4 answers. You have to write 4 answers, dear students. Write down. Okay, thank you. Now let me explain the rule. Let me explain the rule. You know that depending on the form of verb, depending on the way of the expression of verb, there are two ways of the expression of verb in a sentence. The first one is active and the second one is passive. That's why you can say voices are of two types. One is active voice, another is passive voice. One is active voice, another is passive voice. For passive voice, be careful my dear students. For passive voice, the subject of the sentence remains passive. The subject of the sentence remains passive. Okay. If you want to create passive voice, please look at the 4 examples. Here, cricket is the subject, Cox's Rome, and ascends. Cricket, Cox's Bazar, Rome, and ascends. All of them are subject in the sentence, but these subjects are not active. These subjects are not active in terms of doing the work of the sentence, in terms of functioning the work of the sentence. That's why we have to create passive voice in these sentences. We have to use passive voice. But my question is, how can we use passive voice? There are 12 tenses. There are 12 tenses from present indefinite to future perfect continuous. For these 12 tenses, from these 12 tenses, 4 tenses don't be turned into passive voice. They are present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. Okay, but in some of the books, there are given the passive structure of these tenses also. Normally, present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, future indefinite, future perfect, future continuous, future perfect. These 9 tenses we very often turn into passive voice. And for these 9 tenses, there is a single structure of passive voice. There is a single structure of passive voice. In passive voice, we must have to take auxiliary verbs. In passive voice, we must have to take auxiliary verbs selected for passive voice. For example, the auxiliary verbs of passive voice are, for present indefinite, am, is, are. For present continuous, am, being, is, being, are, being. For present perfect, have been, has been. For past indefinite, was or were. For past continuous, was, being, were, being. For past perfect, had been. For future indefinite, shall be, will be. For future continuous, shall be, being, will be, being. For future perfect, shall have been, will have been. If you get any auxiliary like this, if you get these auxiliaries, and if you get past participle form of the verb after these auxiliaries, definitely the voice must be passive. So passive voice has a particular structure. Passive voice has a particular structure. And what is the structure? You have to use selected auxiliary verbs for passive voice, and after this selected auxiliary, rule number 1, cricket call a gentleman's game. Cricket call a gentleman's game. Here the subject is passive. That's why we have to create passive voice here. And in order to create passive voice, we have to use auxiliary verb at first. And what is the auxiliary here? The auxiliary is, and then the past participle called. So what is the answer for question number 1? And that is called. And the second one, Cox's Bazar, call, pleasure seekers, paradise. The auxiliary is and the main verb is called. The first 2 answers are is called and is called. Next one, Rome not built in a day. This is an event which took place in the past. This is an event which took place in the past. That's why we have to create passive voice using past indefinite tense. But there is one not, and we have to make negative. So we have to use past indefinite tense, we have to use passive voice, and we have to use negative in past indefinite passive voice. And what should be the answer? Was not built. And the last one, a sense of brotherhood and fraternity. What should be the answer, dear students? A sense of brotherhood and fraternity. What should be the auxiliary here? Some of you have been confused, I am sure. What is the subject of the sentence? Brotherhood or fraternity or a sense? Look at the board, my dear students. Here, sense is the noun. After noun, we have got preposition of, then another noun. If you get any use of noun at the beginning of a sentence, and if you get any preposition after this noun, and after this preposition you will get another noun. Look at, this is the first noun, this is the second noun, and this is the preposition. The noun before the preposition is called headword of the sentence. Dear students, the noun used before the preposition, is called headword of the subject, and headwords usually works as the subject of the sentence. So what is the headword here? The headword is sense, and headword is the subject of the sentence, and you have to take the verb according to the headword. So should we take the verb according to brotherhood or fraternity, or we should take the verb according to sense? What do you think? We have to take the verb according to the headword, and the headword is sense. So the answer is created. So for creating passive voice, we have to use auxiliary verbs selected for passive voice, and after auxiliary verbs we have to use past participle form of the main verb. This is all about rule number 7. Is it clear to you, my dear students? I am going to give you another example. Modifier complete already. What should be the answer? Dear students, write down. Modifier complete already. Write down the example. Please write down the example along with the answer. Please write down the answer. Modifier complete already. What should be the answer? What should be the answer? Okay, some of you have already written your answer. Sorry, my dear students, some of you are right. On the other hand, some of you have made great mistakes. Why? Look at, already is such an adverb which requires present perfect tense, and this subject is not active, so you have to use passive voice and this passive voice must be in present perfect tense. And what is the auxiliary for perfect tense? Modifier has been completed already. Okay, already requires present perfect tense, and we have to create passive voice of present perfect tense. And for passive voice of present perfect, we have auxiliaries like have been or has been. Okay. Now, my dear students, I would like to start rule number 8, and this rule will take a lot of time. Okay. Let us start with rule number 8. Rule number 8 is important not only for right forms of verb but also for question number 4. Definitely one or two question will be given for question number 4, where you have to complete 10 sentences with phrases and clauses. That means for question number 4 there is given completing sentences, and for completing sentences conditional sentence is really important for you. Okay. So now rule number 8. It's conditional sentence. Conditional sentence is important for intermediate level. This is very important for university admission tests, and this is also important for job sectors in Bangladesh. Okay. Rule number 8, conditional sentence. My first question is, what is conditional sentence? What is conditional sentence? What do you mean by conditional sentence? Okay, I'd like to give you the definition of conditional sentence. I can say conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence. I'm going to repeat, conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence. This is an incomplete definition, dear students. A conditional sentence is a complex sentence. This is an incomplete definition. There is something else related to my definition. Look at the board. A conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence. A conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence having the following look at please. A conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence. If you stop here, the definition will be incomplete, my dear students. So there is something else related to that part. A conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence having the following conjunctions. So there are some conjunctions which are mandatorily used in conditional sentences. So what are the conjunctions that we usually use in conditional sentences? The first one is if. And the second one is in case. Third one is providing that. Fourth one is provided that. Fifth was unless. You can use had, you can use were. Had and were are verbs. Had and were are verbs, but they work both as the conjunction and also as the verb. Okay. if in case providing that, provided that, unless. If in case providing, provided, all the conjunctions have the same meaning, okay, have the same meaning, dear students. So a conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence having the following conjunctions. So you have to make ensure that these conjunctions, one of these conjunctions is used in the sentence, okay. Now I'd like to give you some more information about conditional sentence. So a conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence. Dear students, a conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence having the conjunctions if, in case, providing that, provided that, unless, where, had, okay. My another question is whether you when you are going to use these conjunctions, you must have to connect two clauses. You must have to connect two clauses, dear students. These conjunctions, please, these conjunctions usually connect. These conjunctions usually connect two clauses. You can say two tenses. These conjunctions suitable for conditional sentence. These conjunctions suitable for conditional sentence connect two tenses, or you can say two clauses, okay. So in a conditional sentence, two tenses are used, or you can say two clauses are used, and two clauses mean two tenses. Clear to you? Two clauses mean two tenses, okay. I'd like to give you an example. I would definitely attend the party. I would definitely attend the party provided that you invited me in time. Sorry, not in time, timely. Look at the example, dear students. I would definitely attend the party provided that you invited me timely. This is provided that. Provided that has the same meaning of if. My dear students of intermediate level, please don't be confused. Providing that or provided that has the same meaning of if. The grammatical rule which is important for if is also applicable for all the conjunctions suitable for conditional sentences. Is my message clear to you? The rule which is applicable for if is also applicable for all the conjunctions of conditional sentence. So my dear students, in the meantime, I have been able to give you the definition of conditional sentence. I have given you the list of the conjunctions usually used in conditional sentence, and I have told you that in conditional sentence two clauses are used, principal clause and subordinate clause. Two clauses means principal clause and subordinate clause. Actually two tenses are used. Two tenses are connected with the help of following conjunctions in conditional sentence. Is it clear to you? Now I'd like to go deeper. Into conditional sentence. Okay, look at the board. Look at the board. Write down in your answer scripts. I'm going to tell you the classification of conditional sentence. Classification of conditional sentence. Dear student, classification of conditional sentence. Conditional sentences are of three types. Conditional sentences are of three types. Look at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 and 3. The first one is called first conditional, second conditional, third conditional. Look at the board, dear students. Classification of conditional sentence. Conditional sentences are of three types. First conditional, second conditional and third conditional. First conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Clear to you? Have you written, my dear students? Okay. Conditional sentences are of three types. First conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Clear to you? Okay. Each of the conditional sentences, yes students, each of the conditional sentences contains two tenses. Dear students, each of the conditional sentence contains two tenses. Okay. First conditional, second conditional, third conditional. Look at please. First conditional, second conditional, third conditional. In first conditional, two tenses are used. Dear students, in first conditional, two tenses are used. There, present indefinite and present indefinite and future indefinite tenses are used in first conditional. And look at, I have written one line after present indefinite. Conjunction will be used in present indefinite, not in future indefinite, dear students. So, I can say future indefinite will be principal clause and present indefinite will be in subordinate clause. Okay, because this conjunction is related to present indefinite. That's why I can say this is subordinate clause, this is principal clause. For second conditional, every conditional sentence, every rule of conditional sentence contains two tenses. The first conditional requires present indefinite and future indefinite. Okay. The second conditional requires past indefinite and past indefinite and past conditional. Okay. Past conditional is the name of a tense and this tense has an individual structure, dear students. Individual structure. Okay. Third conditional has also two tenses. There, look at the board, my dear students. Present indefinite, future indefinite, past indefinite, past conditional, past perfect, perfect conditional. Okay. Here, conjunction is used in past indefinite. Here, in third conditional, conjunction is in Look at the board. In first conditional, present indefinite and future indefinite, only in present indefinite the conjunction can be used. For second conditional, past indefinite and past conditional in past indefinite the conjunction will be used. For third conditional, in past perfect the conjunction will be used. Now I'd like to give you the structure of past condition. Okay, in three conditional sentences I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have used 6 tenses. I have used 6 tenses. You know the structure of present indefinite. Present indefinite has the structure subject, then the present form of the verb. Future indefinite, subject, and after subject you will get the auxiliary verb, shall or will, and after this auxiliary you have to put base form with the verb. Past indefinite, subject, then past form of the verb. And what is the structure of past conditional? Subject, then would or could or might, then base form. This is the structure of past conditional. Okay, subject, then would, could, might. You can use only three auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliary verbs in past conditional, and what are they? Would, could, might, and after would, could, might you have to use base form of the verb. This is the structure of past conditional. Some of you might not know the structure of this conditional sentence. That's why I have written the structure here. So what is the structure of past conditional? Subject, then auxiliary verb would, could, might, then the base form of the verb. Then perfect conditional has an individual structure, and that is subject, then would have, could have, might have, and after these two you have to use past participle form of the verb. Okay, so my dear students, don't be confused. Conditional sentences are of three types: first conditional, second conditional, third conditional. In first conditional, present indefinite and future indefinite tense are used. Two tenses, present indefinite and future indefinite. For second conditional, past indefinite and past conditionals are used. Past conditional means subject, then would, could, might, then base form of the verb. Third conditional, past perfect, and with past perfect we have to use perfect conditional. Perfect conditional has an individual structure like subject, then would have, could have, might have, and after would have, could have, might have you have to use the past participle form of the verb. Is it clear to you? I have told you the structure. Now I'd like to give you examples, my dear students. Look at the board. First conditional, second conditional, third conditional. Look at the board, please. Okay. Now I am going to give 3 examples for 3 conditional. Okay. If father arrives in time, we enjoy a long drive. What should be the answer? What should be the answer? Example number 2. If we remained more serious, the situation not go out of control. Example number 3. If the minister had not taken prompt steps we face worse conditions. What should be the answer, dear students? If father arrives in time, we in the bracket enjoy a long drive. If we remained more serious, the situation not go out of control. If the minister had not taken prompt steps, we face worse conditions. Now it is your turn to write down the answer. Okay? One tense is used. You have to select the other tense related to the given tense. Okay? Okay. I think I can start. If main tense present indefinite tense, we need to use future indefinite. The answer will be will enjoy. Okay? If contains past indefinite, we need to use past conditional. And what is the structure? Would or could or might not go. It would be would not go, might not go, could not go. Okay? And the third example, if the minister had taken, this is past perfect. And we know that with past perfect tense, we need to use perfect conditional. And what is the answer? We would have, could have, might have. Would have, could have, might have. After this modal auxiliary verbs or auxiliary verbs, we have to use past participle form faced. We would have faced worse conditions. We might have faced worse condition. We could have faced worse condition. Is it clear to you, my dear students? I would like to give you some more examples for these rules. Another example. Now, I'd like to give you one example, and you are requested to find out the answer. One example will be given. What would have happened? What would have happened? Provided that, don't feel confused with provided that. Provided that has the same meaning of if. What would have happened? Provided that I write down your answer. My dear students, please write down your answer. Write down your answer, please. What would have happened? Sorry, it would be question mark. What would have happened provided that I have a short time? You are making mistakes, my dear students. You are making mistakes. You are making mistakes. Yes, I can start. I have told you that, look at me, my dear students, I have told you that for third conditional only conjunctions will be used in past perfect tense or past perfect tense, okay? And with past perfect, who has the relationship? Perfect conditional has the relationship. I have used perfect conditional sentence here. So, what is left? I think past perfect tense is left. And what is the structure of past perfect? Subject, auxiliary verb had, then past participle form of the main verb. Look at, this is the structure: subject, then auxiliary verb had, and after auxiliary you have to use the past participle form of the verb. And this is the subject, we have to take auxiliary verb had, and after auxiliary we have to use the past participle form of the verb. What is the main verb here? The main verb is have. And what is the past participle of have? The past participle of have is had. So what is the answer? It would be had. Is it clear to you? What would have happened provided that I had a short time? Is it clear to you? I think it's clear to you. So I have completed 3 rules: first condition, second condition, and third condition. For your benefit, I'd like to say you something more. For second conditional, past indefinite tense has a relationship with past conditional. In second conditional, I have told you that past indefinite has a relationship with past conditional. Dear students, look at this. For second conditional, past indefinite, then past conditional. I told you the structure. Past indefinite, past conditional. Here conjunction is used with past indefinite tense, but we have to remember something here. If in past indefinite tense main verb is the be verb, if be verb is used as the main verb in second conditional, that means in past indefinite tense, if be verb is used as the main verb, whatever the subject is, the subject may be singular or plural, all the time we have to use or. Okay? For second condition, if you get be verb as the main verb in past indefinite, you have to use or. For example, I would not support him if I be there. If I be there, look at, I would not support him. This is past conditional. So what is left? Past indefinite is left. And what is the main verb here? The main verb is be. If you get main verb, if you get be verb as the main verb, whatever the subject is, you have to use or. So what is the answer? I would not support him if I were there. Okay? I have completed 3 conditional, that is first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. My dear students, if you get had at the beginning of a sentence, this had might work as the conjunction as well as the verb of the sentence. Look at, had I a computer. Here had has been used as the conjunction as well as the verb. Okay, had I a computer. Here had is carrying the meaning if, and at the same time had is the verb of the sentence. What is the tense of the sentence? Had I a computer? Had I a computer is an example of past indefinite. If had related part becomes past indefinite, you have to use past conditional. Had I bought a computer? Had I bought a computer? Look at this, had related part has become past perfect because I have used past participle form. If had related part becomes past indefinite, you have to use past conditional because past indefinite has a relationship with past conditional. If had related part become past perfect, you have to use perfect conditional. Look at my dear students, had I a computer, this is past indefinite because after had we have not used the past participle. That's why we have to use past condition. If had related part becomes past perfect, we have to use perfect conditional. Okay, I can write the example. Had I a computer, I learn had I a computer, I learned programming. Had I bought a computer, I learned programming. What should be the answer? What should be the first answer, dear students? The first answer would be I would learn, and the second one would be I would have learned, or I could have learned, or I might have learned. Up to this part we have learnt a lot regarding conditional sentence. There is something else. There is a conditional sentence named zero conditional. Someone has questioned. Zero conditional requires when present indefinite takes present indefinite tense. If two present indefinite tenses are connected, when two present indefinite tenses are connected with if or the conjunction suitable for conditional sentence, it is called zero conditional. For example, have you got it? Had I a computer, I would learn programming. Had I bought a computer, I would have learned, I could have learned, I might have learned. Okay. Now zero conditional. I will complete within 2 minutes. Look at if water cools into 0 degree, it dash. Option A, freeze. Option B, will freeze. Option C, freezes. Option D, B plus C. What should be the answer? What should be the answer, dear students? If water cools into 0 degree, it freezes, it will freeze, it freezes, or B plus C. What should be the answer? It should be freezes. This is zero conditional. Okay. Another example. For zero conditional, another example can be written. Look at. if parents bring gifts, children become happy. This is a habitual fact. Whenever children get gifts, they become happy. And what should be the answer? If parents bring gifts, children will become, or children normally become? Children become happy. Is it clear to you? So zero conditional requires present indefinite with present indefinite. Don't use become, dear students, because children is plural. Don't use become, becomes, use become. Some of you have written becomes, children is third person plural, that's why you cannot add s or es with the verb. So my dear students, up to this part we have calculated, I have tried my level best to give you a lecture on conditional sentence. I have told you that a conditional sentence is one kind of complex sentence with the conjunction like, if, in case, provided that, unless, had or were. There are three kinds of conditional sentence: first conditional, second conditional and third conditional. Each of the conditionals contains two tenses or two clauses, you can say. For first conditional there are two tenses, present indefinite and future indefinite. For second conditional there are two tenses, past indefinite and past conditional. For third conditional there are two tenses, past perfect and perfect conditional. There is an exceptional use. If you get any be verb as the main verb in past indefinite, in second conditional, whatever the subject is, you have to use were. There is another rule: if you get had at the beginning of a sentence, it might create conditional sentence. If had related part is in past indefinite, you have to use past conditional, and if had related part becomes past perfect, you have to use perfect conditional. And at the end of my lecture, I have completed zero conditional where two present indefinite tenses are used. Dear students, I have completed 8 rules. I have completed 8 rules and regulations of right forms of verb, and this is our last class before the vacation of Eidul Adha, and we will start taking classes after 6th of August. This is our last English class. This is our last English class before the vacation of Eidul Adha. Thank you, my dear students, for being with me. I'm really overjoyed with the participation you have already ensured, willing to have your active and enthusiastic participation in my upcoming lectures. Till then, goodbye.